So what we're doing is I'm moving you around and putting you in groups of two. So what we're doing today is a little bit of a kind of a discovery, working with a little bit of mathematics that we've talked about already, but putting it in perspective because we have the ACT coming up.
Yeah.
We do, right?
We die.
We die. You two can get dating together. You're not gonna fight today.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little feisty when I'm on that.
That's right in the camera. Right there. So this first round, talk.
Should we scoot it in?
No, just check. I won't room so I can walk. So if I need to go over there, each of you have a laptop. We don't need those just yet, but if you listen to me for a few minutes first, and then we'll get started. So I've talked to you guys. I can get this up. I've talked to you guys before, like about my life, right? I told you a little bit about my life. Like some of my interests, you know, I like sports. I like Kentucky basketball. What else do I like?
Bowling.
Bowling. I'm a bowler. No.
Weird numbers.
Weird number. I like weird numbers. Weird numbers are awesome. 70. That's a good number. But anyway, another fact about me is I like logic puzzles and stuff. So I'm big into like chess. Chess is like a giant logic puzzle. Any chess players? Was?
I gave up.
Why?
Because I'm not fit to do that.
You're not fit to do that. You have to be in shape. But I'm a chess player, and those kind of puzzles, logic puzzles, Sudokus, those things I really enjoy. And I actually have I'm big into Rubik's Cubes. I have a big Rubik's Cube collection. So I think if I counted correctly the other day, I think I have 40-something Rubik's Cubes. So some of them are like collectors, different colors. Some of them have like I have a Kentucky Rubik's Cube. You can, well, yeah, call me a nerd, go ahead. But anyway, I have a bunch of Rubik's Cubes. And they can sometimes be expensive depending on what kind of Rubik's Cube you have. So I was looking into it, and when I was digging these out, because I think it was my nephew, he just turned 6, and I was wanting to teach him something, and I found an old Rubik's Cube sitting in a drawer when I was moving a couple weeks ago. So I showed it to him, and he asked me about them. So I was going to find a bunch of other ones, and I couldn't find the box, and then I finally found the box after a lot of searching. And there were a couple in there that were broken, and I forgot that they were broken. And a few of them are a couple of the ones that I used a lot, and they were like, so if you notice there's like the 2x2s. So what I mean by 2x2 is we have 2 squares on one side, 2 squares on the bottom, 2x2s, and then this one's a 4x4. The one you usually see is a 3x3, right? That's one we're so used to. But I have a bunch of those, and some of those get busted and they can be pretty expensive. So I was looking at getting like them replaced, buying a new one. They can get expensive buying. Especially from a really nice company. Huh? How much are they? I think I saw one for like $45. It was one of the bigger ones, like a 6x6. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend $45 on a Rubik's Cube. So, because a few of them I got as a gift. So I was looking into it, and I found this place. It was like a Rubik's Cube repair company. It was an online company. To the point where you can take Rubik's Cubes apart and you can replace the pieces. And they had the individual pieces with the stickers on them, which whatever color you want. They can even send you the stickers if you want. But they had the actual pieces, and that's what I wanted. Now I was wondering if I had a Rubik's Cube that was in pretty bad shape. I had to replace a lot of the cubes. I was wondering if it would be less expensive to do it from the little part company as opposed to buying a brand new Rubik's Cube, right? So I got to thinking, and in their little description of the cost, it was they had different price levels for different pieces, because there's different pieces on a Rubik's Cube. There's cubes that are like the corners, and those have 3 colors on them, don't they? If you look at this one's on a corner, it has 3 colors, 1, 2, 3 colors. Well, how many colors does this one have on it? 2. So the way it connects, it's a little bit different of a connection. So it's a little bit harder to make than the corner pieces. So those I think are, I don't know, were those more expensive? I think they were a little bit more expensive. Yeah, so those were more expensive according to the paper. And then then there's some cubes here that have only 1 color on them. They're like right there. I think those are those right there. Those are, I think, are the least expensive because they don't really do anything. They just kind of sit there, right? When you turn the cube to solve the puzzle, they don't really do anything. because the ones on the sides go both ways. They can change both ways. So they have those in different price, but the one that I really want to replace is like a 6x6. And you know how long it would take for me to go through and count all those cubes and which one it is and all that? You know how long it would take? Or how tedious that would be? I don't know if I would want to do that. And if I want to maybe expand on my Rubik's Cube collection, and if by chance it breaks sometime, wouldn't it be nice to find some way to know how many pieces of each of those there are in a Rubik's Cube? That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So that way I don't ever have to count ever again. I don't have to sit there. Have you ever seen like a big one like this? This one right here? What is that? I would say maybe 18 on the side. And it's a real thing. It's 18 by 18 Rubik's Cube. Now, can anybody solve that? No.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty tough. But somebody has. Now, you would think somebody has to be able to, otherwise they wouldn't have made it, right? But can you imagine trying to fix something like that and how much this Rubik's Cube repair company would make? So I wonder if there's an easier way to find out how many of each of those cubes are in a Rubik's Cube. So I'm going to give you some papers here. This is kind of what I already explained to you, but it's putting it into words. So I told you about the online company. I told you about that they charge you. So we're going to call those little cubes in a Rubik's Cube, the bigger cube, we're going to call those little ones, those are called unit cubes. That's what we're going to call those. We're going to call those unit cubes. So maybe highlight that a little bit. Make sure you know that those are called unit cubes. What's that?
The little ones?
Yeah, the little ones. So you have like the big cube, right? That's all of the cubes put together. This is just the one big cube here, right?
Yeah.
This little one here, we'll call that a unit cube. Is that okay?
Yeah.
This is kind of like it's like a unit piece of the actual cube itself. So we talked about there's actually 4 different kind of cubes. There's the cubes with 3 colors on them, cubes with exactly 2 colors on them, cubes with exactly 1 color on them, and then there's actually some cubes that don't have any color on them. You have to think about where those are. So if we have that collection of Rubik's Cubes, it would be nice to determine how many cubes of each one are in each Rubik's Cube. And I think we can find a quicker way to find that out. So your job right now is with your partner, without using the computer for right now, I'll talk to you about that later, but with your partner, in a 3x3x3, so that is 3 cubes along the bottom, 3 cubes along another side, and 3 cubes deep. So it's a 3-dimensional figure, right? Length, width, height, so on and so forth. So 3 cubes along each edge is called a 3x3x3. So a 4 cube with 4 along each edge. This is a 4x4x4. Does that make sense, Rama? 4 along this edge, 4 along that edge, and then how deep is it? 4 cubes. And then this one is a 5x5x5, right? So we can call it n by n by n, or how many cubes there are. So in a 3x3x3 cube, how many unit cubes have exactly, or a color on exactly 3 sides, exactly 2 sides, exactly 1 side, and no color at all? So I would like you to take some time and work on that on your own. There's a lot of different ways you can find this out. You can try the guess and check method, you can maybe draw it. If you want to, I will allow you to use the computer to go to Google and to type in Rubik's Cube. Find a picture of it. A picture of it may help you. Got it. So you can look up a picture of a Rubik's Cube, and maybe that'll help you.
We just figured out how to wait.
54 sides. Does that make sense? Yes.
9 times 18, 19,
Matthew loves Rubik's Cubes.
I know. And that's why I'm upset he's not here today to do this. I think I'm going to give this one to him. Have you ever solved your Rubik's Cube?
No.
Neither have I. I had a student last semester sit and try to teach me how to do it, and I just got lost.
What? You were filming. Yeah, like something.
doing these. This 3 by 3, 9 on one side.
Okay.
So we did 9 times 2, which would be 2 sides, and 9 times 3 would be 3 sides.
So what does that number represent?
All the corners of place have three
Sides,
colors on them.
the number of cubes that are colored on 3 sides.
And there's 4 corners. Yeah, well,
That are on color on 3 sides?
4 on the bottom.
I didn't get 18. Oh, I didn't get 27.
I think that's a good number, but I don't know if that represents the number of colored 3-sided colors. Take a look at
So
that.
one of these would be a 3-sided color, right?
Huh?
One of these would be a 3-sided color, right?
Mhm.
Oh, I read the
So
question. I read the question.
Okay.
So.
5, one back there.
I read it wrong.
So there's
Okay, so you see how the numbers are
Wait.
Okay.
on them, so 1, 2, 3, there are 4 corners.
So there's 8
on the
unit cubes
top, 4
color on all
top.
3 sides.
So that would be
Yeah.
8.
See what I mean?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What?
Like one of these is the color on all 3 sides. Like right there, color right there, color right there.
Yeah.
So there's one right there. There's gonna be 2. There's gonna be a second one. Just color right there, color right there. Get color on the
Yeah,
other
so
side.
2, 3,
One back here.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, 8.
Ooh, in a 3 by 3 by 3? I know. What do you think 3 by 3 by 3 means?
Okay, and then
So if you think, if we have, if you're building a sandbox in your backyard, and it's a rectangle, right? If I say it's 4 by 4,
Yeah,
What does
it's
that
8
mean?
cubes of color.
So 2 sides will be
1, 2.
okay, so
there's 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
yeah, 4 long by 4 wide.
this one. So that's
What do you think 4
And then
by
2,
4
and then
would represent?
3, and then 4, and then 1 more on the.
Wait, no, actually that would be 1,
4,
1, 2, 3, 4.
1. This is 2. That is 2.
Right?
That has 2.
Because it'd only be the
16,
middle.
and 16, what would it represent?
No, it's color on
That
that
rectangle.
Middle ones, the middle ones just have one color.
No, I'm talking
This
about
one,
the middle
the
one's
one's in
like
the very middle.
1, 2, that's the middle.
Oh.
Yeah.
that's
So 1,
the area.
2, 3, 4.
So a 4, well, let's make it, instead of a square, let's make it a 4 by 5 sandbox, right?
Yeah, it could be 1, 2.
That area of that sandbox is 20.
5,
One,
6,
two,
24.
So there's 4 on each side of the cube.
Then there would be 1,
Right?
2,
If I give you a cube that is 3
So.
by
Yeah.
3.
4 on each side of the
There-
cube. How many sides would it
So
be?
deep, what am I finding
All
out
4
the
of these
area?
on the very top
Oh,
have
yeah.
4 colors.
And each one of these cubes represents 1
Yeah,
unit
okay.
of volume.
And then this,
So how many
and
cubes are
then
in
it'd be
this
the same
one?
down here,
1,
but this
2,
one's
3,
already been
4,
Can we do
counted.
this one?
So,
8.
5,
just look at the top
6,
color.
one back in the corner,
So
7.
you have,
8.
this has 2 colors, that has 2.
How did I get the number 8?
That has 2 colors.
Two.
It's
Right.
the same down
One
here,
one's just like color.
so that would give you 8. But then you also have the ones. No.
That's what it means to
These
say
ones.
3
These
by
ones.
4.
These ones.
Here's my question.
And
So-
the middle one have 2
So,
colors on it. So that would be 1, 1.
3 by 3 by 3, then 3 by 27.
So it'd be 12
Okay,
total.
but I did my math wrong, so I'm only getting 26.
6.
What are you looking for?
Cubes with only one color. It's like this one.
So one of them.
Because you accounted for example, in this one, you counted for all the exterior cubes in it.
Yeah, you gotta get the
There's
one
one little cube
center.
right in the middle, isn't there?
Yeah.
So-
I don't understand like a new color.
I didn't want mine. I love mine too.
Because I think the last row. Here, turn the wheel sideways.
That would make sense.
Okay, what happened?
Nope, so.
It'd be 1, 2, 3 by 3.
Well, I'm gonna have to switch it.
Okay, there's-
So then you're
So,
adding extra 1. 3 by 3.
Right.
So,
three sides you got 8, 2 sides you got 2.
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
how to do it. Yeah, I'm trying to explain.
3 by 3 by 3. 3, 6.
so you have to add
It's the 4 corners. It's these ones. So that has 2
What?
colors,
3
right?
times 3 times
So
3.
does this
Oh,
one.
they were adding.
So that's 2. So does this one.
Why are you doing
Just
3 times 3 times
So
3?
does this
We're
one.
trying to find
just
out
4.
what
And then you have-
is in the middle of the middle.
Oh,
It's
just
just
all
two,
these
just
added
two.
up.
Because there's also colors on the
How do you have to
other
add
side.
this?
So did you find how many cubes are in a 3 by 3
Red
by
on the
3?
top and then green on the side.
54.
How did you
That's what you do.
Hey, guys.
So
How
the
did you get
one
that?
very
9 on
top.
each side.
And
6 sides. 9 from 6 sides.
Because this has
Sides,
yellow and red.
sides.
This one has green.
I agree that there's
This one has
54
red,
individual color stickers.
blue
but
or
I don't know
white
if there's
on it,
54
and then
cubes.
this one has red and blue or white on it. One of the two, that's fair.
If I counted the stickers, 1, 2, 3, 9 stickers, but aren't those stickers on the same
All
cube?
these corners have two,
Yeah.
and they're.
Well, so you said there's-
1, 2, 3, 4,
And
5,
then
6.
the bottom is the same.
Saying that there's
top.
more cubes and
It's the same
stickers.
layout, so
Uh-huh.
four more.
Wouldn't be 27?
Ooh, why 27?
Two sides.
Because 3 by 3 by 3.
Oh, you didn't think about that?
What's that mean?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah, what's 3 by 3 by 3 mean?
Oh, okay, so there's
Like, what do you
this.
mean? What do you mean by?
Well, what did you do to those to get 27?
Multiply this?
So,
Okay.
for this, there's 6 sides.
Let's think of just
This
a
is one side,
rectangle.
that's the
Okay,
other side.
you're building a
Like,
sandbox in your
this is
backyard.
six sides, that's-
That sandbox is,
But all like
Four
kind
by
of
five.
sides.
So, I
So-
only have one.
so let me, with this, with the rectangle game, we got 4 by 5. How do you find the area? Multiply 4 by 5. That's what that X means, it means by, right? It also means times. So the area of that is 20 square units.
Okay.
So this
Right.
is, this is a
Yeah.
side.
If I
No,
add
this
one
is-
more dimension to that, I'm not finding area,
This is a side, right?
So this
finding
is
volume.
cube,
It's
and it
length
has 3 sides.
times
It has
width
3 sides
times
that
height.
you can see.
How many
Yeah.
cubes are along
And
the
there's
length?
the 3 colors.
That's what it shows.
That's where we got the 3 color
How many
ones.
cubes are along the
So
height?
now we're looking for ones like this.
How many cubes are along the width?
See one side of them, so you can only see one color.
So how many cubes are there?
What was that?
Does that make sense?
So for this,
Yeah.
there's, these are the.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why I
you
thought
found the
this
number of
was
stickers,
four.
because yes,
Oh,
there are
okay.
6 sides,
So
but
if-
every side shares the cube with another side,
Subtract this to,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or maybe not every side, not every side can share another side.
And
I don't know why I
then
thought
there's
it
5,
was
6.
So are we in agreement now that there's 27 total?
There's
Yeah.
5, 6.
So that might change a couple of these numbers.
2, 3, 4, 5,
For the
6.
one color page,
There's
16.
No,
Wait, I'm confused how we're wrong on the other one.
Okay, so
Did you get it all?
no color, no side.
There's only one
Okay, so I agree with that.
Why?
Okay, so for this one, there's
Eight.
all of these have a color
How
on
many
it, but there
cubes
has
are
to be one cube.
yeah, I do agree with that.
You can't see.
So your number should
So
have.
that's one of them.
No, it's like this.
Explain to me how you got
See this one?
Those are white.
two-sided.
Yeah,
There's one in the middle. Yeah, in the very middle, because you have to still have one in the middle
It'll be
that
four.
has to go with the
Okay, what other one did you find first?
I found one
Like
that
in the middle, like in the
How'd you find one color?
Yeah. And some of them cute.
There's
Purple,
incentives
blue,
there.
There has to be, I don't see how that could.
Well, yeah, it's probably not.
And then how did you get 24 and a half?
So there's 6 sides.
There's 6 sides.
That would have to be the pillar of the
Okay,
whole.
I agree with you on that.
And then
We have
the middle
24,
one, there
so
have to be 8
one,
cubes,
two,
right? We said
Oh,
one
yeah.
side would
1,
have
2,
6.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Why?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
We counted
2 by 2
separately.
by 2.
That's the same cube.
So, but for the 2 sides, couldn't you just multiply this 2 sides?
See what I mean?
Because you're just adding an extra.
We counted these separately.
Explain that to me.
We counted
I really
24
like
by the
that.
stickers. This is the same exact.
Explain that to me
So
using like
one,
this picture or something.
2. Oh,
Yeah.
to be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay?
Something
like that.
Yeah, and if you're adding.
I don't know how that works.
You 1, 2, 3, 4,
What do you mean side?
5,
That side?
6, 7.
Yes.
Okay. You're adding one in between the two bars. Okay.
He said no color, but he didn't say it was size
8.
multiplied by 2.
Well, how did you get, first,
So
in 3 by 3, how did you get the number 12?
Less.
No,
12,
no.
13,
Okay, wait. Just skip this one.
Imagine it was glass.
What did you actually count in 3 by 3 by 3?
So in a 3 by 3 by 3
What do you
cube,
count?
how many
When you said
unit
13.
cubes will have a color on each
6
side?
sides.
Okay.
I forgot to add the bottom.
So it's saying which one will have a color
Counting
exactly
sides.
two sides, which one will have a color exactly two sides.
Just listen.
No, it's 13.
Okay, I think it is too.
And
Because
which
we're
one
gonna-
has
okay,
color?
do the one
No.
color on one side.
Which one?
So there's definitely one.
You're adding them all
Yeah, which
together.
one will have a
Yeah.
color?
6 plus 8
Six is
plus
on a
13
cube.
is
I know you said.
You have, let's count.
But it says
We got
no,
it.
1, 2, 3, 4
None.
edges there.
I know.
you're gonna
1, 2,
13.
3, 4 edges on the
None. If we
bottom.
acted like there was one
And then-
yeah, there was.
with no
4
color.
edges around the
Yeah.
ones that we didn't
But-
count, right? So how many edges are there?
There has to be color.
12. So if there's 12 edges on a cube, how did you get the number 12 in the first place? 3 by 3 by 3, how did you get the number 12?
when the two
Wait.
sides on that edge.
Oh, that's a one.
Because there's two.
Oh, what's an edge?
Zero has
There's
no
one,
color.
there's one
Oh,
cube side by 10. It's the one.
So when we say the X's, it's 5
Oh.
by 5 by 5, it's 10 by 10.
Okay, so one of our numbers is not right.
Is it, can the answer be none?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Wait.
No.
Okay, well, that makes sense. She said it's the
I
one.
would like you guys to do that. Just you guys.
Well.
Not you guys can't yet. Not letting you. You guys do that.
Alright.
I am this, you got me.
She said,
We got it.
Oh, well, we don't know if we got it.
I feel like if there's buildings.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
On one side had.
And so how did you, I want you to think about how you got these terms. Because I think that one, what's true about that one? Think about it in the 4x4 report, what's true about that?
They're
It's
all
just
the
the corners.
corners.
Are the corners ever going to be more than 8 corners? No, so we're pretty good with that one. Think about what those relate to under a cube. Think of properties of a cube. What are some properties of a
Would
cube?
it be,
Just say enter.
they all have, well, not this one, but they all have multiples of three.
talking.
Are those two
Is it
really?
Maybe.
No.
Maybe check in. What I would like you guys to do is I would like you to go to the as well. So using this website, what you can do is you can undo that. So undo your transparency. Get rid of that, get rid of that. I think what's gonna help you is start clicking on these. That shows
Are you
you what
serious?
and do like do like how many colors are on those sides?
Go on, watch the video.
One.
You called
So
off.
how many
Yes.
sides
What'd you
do
say?
have?
It's like, I'm not feeling that good.
3, 4.
She was like, okay.
So you called her or text her?
Call her.
How many are on that one that you just spun? How many are on that?
What is it, 3 by 3?
There's one there, one down there.
I wish I was there.
So it's
But
basically.
think about where
No, I
those
did.
are.
Huh?
I'm just, for future reference, think about where those squares are. Now click on this one.
No, it doesn't have, what if we work 3 hours?
What are those two?
Usually ones have to be, so this is the inner side.
The edges.
Trust me on that.
So the side is the edge.
They're on the edges, aren't they? And how many colors do they have on this side?
And
Two.
Oh, yeah, 2.
So think about the properties of a cube. How many edges are on a
yeah,
cube?
you don't.
Let's call.
4 by 4.
How many edges are on
He
a
said
cube?
2, 4
On
by
a cube? How many edges are on a cube?
Oh.
Undo that.
What?
So unclick that. Yep. Get back to normal. And then what you can do is you can actually label these sides. So click on that label. So that way you don't lose track. Or even better yet, unclick that. So unclick that. It tells you where you're at. So you can go ahead and count your sides without your edges without losing your cube. Yeah. Here's your here's the real question step. National on the line. Here's how on.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
So are you seeing how relationship?
Counting the edges.
If so, what does it mean? What do you think it means when I say n by n by n?
Okay, so
I don't know how to do
1, 2, 3,
Huh?
4 on this side.
What do you think I mean by n by n by n?
So that means there's 4.
So I go to your game.
What is n?
we have bird.
Does it make us work?
Yes.
So I like you to do, I like to see if you can make the rules
What kind of word?
for each of
Why would
those.
you
And
think
there's-
bird?
You're
You're not
not
allowed to.
Yes, I am.
In there.
Do it
Does that
all
make
the
sense?
time.
So 8, so
I would
4.
still be like,
I don't
4
think
by
you need
4,
it.
She'll
16.
be like, okay.
Because you
I
can
didn't even
spin
go to
it
work
around.
until today, and I
Because
didn't
then
go
you
home,
go
and I still have to be on 4.
Because you go that edge, that edge.
So now that all of you are on,
That
Pretty much
edge?
everything.
Yes, that
No
edge.
way. You ignore what
This
all of
edge,
you are on this website now.
This edge, and then there's
So-
this edge.
Real quick, guys, what I want to show you, direct your attention to the board. So on the board, I've showed you guys this website already, so let me run you through it real quick. So this is a little interactive Rubik's Cube. You can only do a 3 by 3 by 3, which is unfortunate. I wish you could do more. I don't think you can do more, no. So you can, for example, make your edges transparent, or your sides transparent. You can make the cubes transparent but still color. You can, well, in this, what did these represent? They're cubes, but which ones?
one color.
They're all just ones with one color on them. And did we agree in a 3 by 3 by 3 how many were on there?
Yeah.
How many are on there?
6.
6.
Do you know what?
So there's, if I spin this middle one, there's 4 on this middle one. And then there's 1 there and 1 over here. So if I unclick that and I click this one, what does this show me?
Cubes with 2 sides.
These are all the cubes with 2 sides. Rama, what did you say? It was a very good word that you used. Where are those cubes?
On the edge.
They're on the edges. So there might be some kind of relationship between your edges and those cubes. If I click that and I click this, what are all these? All the corners, right? All the 3-sided cubes. Is this ever going to change?
No.
We're never going to gain edges or corners, are we? We're never going to gain corners. So what might help you with this, and you can actually isolate this if you really want to, this could help with finding how many cubes are in an actual Rubik's Cube. So what you can do is, I like having this label here. This label is here to help you. If I get it up right, that's going to be a problem. So anyway, this label is here to help you with these words. So it kind of keeps yourself straight in what you're talking about. So this might be beneficial for you to use in finding a 4x4x4, a 5x5x5. And then when I'm asking for an n by n by n, what I'm asking for is I'm asking for a rule that it doesn't matter how many sides or how many cubes are in that Rubik's Cube. It doesn't matter how many cubes are on each edge. You can tell me how to find the number of each of those cubes using those equations. That is your goal in this next few minutes, is to, you've all done 3x3x3, start on 4x4x4 and try to find a relationship among these numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6,
So I have a
7, 8, 9, 10,
question.
11, 12.
So, like, what you just going to say, so it's the same
N.
because they're still the same.
You must use N.
Yeah.
N is the number of cubes along the side.
Right? For 4x4x4. So three
Along
sides
a
would
side.
be 8.
So I would like you to use N. And every rule should be written in terms of N.
What?
64.
Well, that one's fine. It's 8 times 8. It would be 8 times. Well, it doesn't matter how many cubes are on the edge for that, because you're not taking into account the edges of sides cubes. You're just taking into account corners. But for 2 side or 2 color, 1 color, excuse me, no color, you need to use an equation in both of them.
Travel with me.
That was always good.
Wow.
Okay.
24 with 3 sides.
You have to stop.
With 2 sides.
You have to click shuffle again.
24 with 2
I
sides.
know.
Sure. So,
Common with 2 sides. And
let's
then
talk about how you got number
2.
12.
Well, we count. Is that the one where it's the two cubes on it? What was it? Get me out of here.
Keep going, switch that.
It's beyond food.
Maybe drawing might help.
So, you asked how we got the 12, right?
Yes. There's how many edges?
How many cubes are there? No goals.
Did you agree on how many edges there are?
Yeah, it was 12. Yeah, we said 12.
Yeah,
No.
12 edges.
Yeah, 12.
Yep, 12 edges. So how did you get the number 12?
Because we counted 4 on each,
Okay.
and then,
Some of them share
and then there's top and bottom, which was 8, and then we shared 2.
Right. So
How many
I
cubes
guess
are
my question is
altogether?
this 2 related to edges? 1. There's 12 number of edges.
Altogether?
How many cubes are along that edge that you have not used? Remember, you used some along that edge in this number. How many on each edge did you not use?
Yeah.
Go back and highlight that right there. This one. Yep.
Yeah.
It's for
How many did you catch?
you gotta just change the number.
Did you not? We've already accounted for the 4. So,
Have used one, this
1.
one.
Right?
Oh.
So that one, that one, that one. So how many on each edge? 1.
Stop.
So 12, you got 12 edges. and how many cubes are on the edge?
5 by 5.
One.
It's 12 times 1.
12.
Now let's think of a 4 by 4 by 4.
I gotta look
How
at
many
it.
cubes are along the edge that you do not use?
I gotta look at it.
On the 4 by 4 by 4. 2.
2. Pull a picture of a 4 by 4 by 4. Go back to your phone.
Why are you on 4 by 4?
So go to, where's it?
Yeah, we're doing the 4 by 4, right?
So then could we do like
You do it.
Yeah, so something like that.
in square?
So think, we already accounted for the corners. Now we are along each edge.
You just do.
So how many edges?
Plus
12. 12 edges.
Now it's, yeah.
And then put the apostrophe.
Oh, I thought it was
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, by 2?
2
2 colors?
Okay. How many of them have one color? How did you get this number?
It was the middle ones.
I'm right on that one.
So it was the middle and all of
With
them,
2
so
sides there.
there's no 3 by 3.
So it would be 4.
Wait, no, okay.
4 on each side, how many
1,
sides?
2, 3, 4,
4 sides.
5, 6,
Oh, 6 sides.
Because this number you got, there's 1 on each side, 6 sides. 1 times 6. 6 sides, how many on each side?
4 times
Eight
6.
So
inches
how
on
many
one side.
color?
2 sides.
24.
Not 24? What? No.
Is that how they solve this thing?
Oh shoot, I
No,
forgot.
that's not how we
to
solve it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is how we're going to repair my Rubik's cubes.
9, 10, 11, 12.
So we're helping you.
Yeah, you're actually doing work for me.
Is it really?
Thank you. Huh?
Is that really, are you really trying?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I'm really wanting to repair Rubik's cubes.
Dude, I'm not good.
So I'll leave you with that, though, maybe figure out the ones in the middle.
Wait, we messed this up.
I can get that number.
Ah, there's 4.
Ah, I think there's more than that.
Really?
Okay, let's think about it. If we take a 4 by 4 by 4, take the layer off. Those are all the exterior cubes. Because isn't that one cube the one that has no color, so it's all by itself in the middle? So if we take a 3 by 3 by 3 and pull the parts apart off, there's that one little one in the middle. If we have a 4 by 4 by 4, take every outside off. How many are actually in there?
4, 5.
Think about it.
Six.
Can 4 make a cube?
Yeah.
Can you make a cube out of 4 unit cubes?
I can make a square one.
You can make a square. Can't make a cube, can you? You can make a cube out of 1 cube.
Oh yeah, you can.
It is a cube.
How is it gonna be like?
That's my hint to you.
Okay, let's-
How many
5
cubes?
by 5 by 5 by 5.
You can make a cube out of 8. Why do you make a cube out of 8?
Size.
Whoa.
Oh.
So long.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Now how many? Oh,
Alright.
we got it right then.
So explain me
No,
now.
this is number 12. No,
8
still.
plus
Is this, is that?
But we have to figure out.
Yeah, just-
figure out the
How do you get number 12? There's 12 edges. I agree.
12.
Why the number 12?
It's always 8. What's 8?
That's
It's always
Oh,
gonna
God.
be because there's 8 corners.
Okay.
And minus 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
6 plus 2 is 8.
24.
21st cubes.
Yes.
Color on
Because
one
the
side.
corners are
Yeah.
never going to change. You have to make those a color. So if you take those along the edge, how many do you have left on the edge?
How do we know 3 is
And then you
should
can
we
try
double
6.
check?
Why 6? How many edges are there?
The 8. What changes?
Got it. Let's do
Ah,
5.
interesting. Does that fit all the rules for your numbers there?
Okay, so how many cubes would
I
we
bet
use?
it does.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Now
7,
that you know where you're going with that, I want to leave you with trying the next ones. Using this kind of rule.
Yeah, so it would be 8 every time.
Think about how many
27.
corners on the cube.
1,
interior, not interior, but the one with one color.
27 cubes is one color.
3,
Great, and think about that.
5, 6,
And then,
Because I think you're on the right track with
yeah.
it. I'll give you some time to think about it.
So it's always gonna be 8.
Yep, I'm right.
Yes, yes, yes.
We got it done.
I'm right.
What did you
27 cubes with no color.
Okay.
No,
color.
125 cubes altogether, yes, but I don't.
I know
Would it
what,
be 25?
27 cubes and they're colored.
25.
I'm right on that. Yes, I am.
Okay, so there
Yeah,
are.
yeah, you are. Why not?
Because, yeah,
Why? Tell me why.
because if you get rid of the layers, you count 1, 2, 3, by
Okay.
3, by 3.
So what is left on the inside? It's
There
a
are 12 edges.
a cube, right? Which is how many dimensions?
There's 12 edges.
8, yeah.
3 dimensions. So did we have to peel off one cube
24.
off of one side?
24.
But we also had to tear off the other part of it, didn't we? So we had to pull off the sides in one direction.
Yeah.
We had to pull off
Right there.
Okay,
another
so
side.
2 sides.
And 2 more.
And then 2 more this way, right?
If I drew a 5, that would be like.
How many cubes on each edge did I take off? On each side, did I take off?
5 by 5.
How many on each side did I take off? If I start with, on the 3 by 3 by 3, okay? Let's go back to this
Oh,
one.
would it be 4 by 4?
Let's think of,
It would be n minus 2, so whatever your side is
Where's
minus
your
2 is
little-
every time you
there,
take away
this.
these 2 corners.
if we go back to
And then
this,
times 12, because there are 12 edges.
so we're gonna go to this. If I wanna get to the center
That would
cubes,
give
don't I
you
have
how
to
many
pull off
two sides you
this
have.
side?
Yeah.
I have to take that side off. How many
And
cubes am I
also,
removing
yeah,
along
every
one
time
side?
so it should be
No,
36.
not all 9, but how many cubes, like just along this
4, 5,
part of
6,
this?
7,
Just along this.
12, 10.
How many cubes am I
1, 2, 3,
removing?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, right, in this direction I'm moving 1. But I also have to remove this one over here, don't I? So how many am I removing?
1.
Another one. How many did I remove total in this direction? Well, I have to do the same thing
That can't be right.
You would have to remove 2.
if it's,
Okay.
if you can find
So
some way to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
over like that.
10,
So we already moved 2 on each side this way. Now I want to remove how many this way? And then how many would I remove that way? How many times am I removing? How many times am I removing?
I did.
Oh,
36. No. Yes.
Right, 3 dimensions. Like you just said, 3 dimensions. Where you moved in 3 dimensions.
So-
So aren't we left with a cube on the inside?
yeah.
So if we had a 3 by 3 by 3, there was only 1 cube left over. Because didn't we take 2 off each side?
One side. I already said
In
it.
every direction.
One side
So-
always be the same.
In a 4 by 4 by 4, you take off 2 on each direction, right? How many are left on the inside along one edge?
So you're gonna have how many on each side? 1, 2,
I have 4
3,
along,
5, 6,
and I'm left with 8 total, but how many are on each edge?
So we have
2.
9 on each.
2 by 2 by 2.
So
How did you get that number 2?
Yeah.
How did you get that number 2? How many cubes did you start with along the edge?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wait,
So there's 9 on each
4 by
side.
4 by 4. How many cubes did you start with along the edge? 4. And how many sides did you take off?
So that means
One,
there's
2
12.
total. So does it matter? At 5 by 5 by 5, how many am I taking off? Still 2, right? How many are left?
So there are 9 on each side, right?
And
So
in
1,
between.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that are only one side.
So 3 by 3
And
by
there's
3.
6 sides, so you just do 9.
3 by 3 by 3 cube, right? To find that one little piece in the middle, I have to take all the exterior sides off, right? So if I have along this
Yeah,
one
it's
side
only
here,
one
I
side.
have 3
They're the
cubes.
only ones that have one color.
Minus.
If I take
See, they're the
this
ones that
side
have one
off
color showing.
and that side off, I'm left with that one strip of cubes. But then I have to turn it.
Four.
And then take off 2 more cubes.
Why does it have to be?
So every time you take this away on
Because right now we're looking at
And then I
one
did
that
one
only has one
it
color.
by 1.
One color on it. Oh.
Actually, the 4 by 4
The
by
other
4.
one has a color.
Yes,
the
the
ones
ones
we
we
already
already
did,
did, we already used those.
And I'm still taking the exteriors off.
Okay.
Because then you're left with 2, aren't you?
One side, right?
2 this way, and you get to take 2 off the other way, 2 this way, and then 2 that way. So 8.
So
Then 5 by 5 by 5
Well,
is 3 on 27.
So you just do,
So n by n by n, what do you think? N is any number. So we just add minus 2, which is, simplify
Let's
that.
try it, shall we?
Don't
And then
multiply it out.
let's try 3.
Same right.
No colors?
N minus 2 times n minus 2 times n minus 2.
Okay, and tell me. Why did I say What's that?
I'll leave you with that. Maybe that'll help you with the other
Any
ones.
number.
All right. Ashley, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
this, it's just
I'm
any
okay.
number, like you can use, what you can
You're
use to
100%
do any
honest,
that's
but-
Are you
See, that's why I got
kidding?
that, that's why I got
What
that.
do you Hey.
I just, any number.
Very good.
With a one.
Oh,
Eight
you still
even
keep
also.
the N. Yeah, because
With
it's,
variable.
it's just a variable.
Very good.
9 times 6.
So, that one's always gonna be. You have to subtract the out edges, you have to subtract the edges. And. So five is how many?
All right, Mark, are you ready for me now? Yeah, back.
How many times 3
Oh, okay, so you have 5 on each side right now,
Figure
so
out
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you can use this to subtract n edges.
Yes.
So however many you have.
How many directions do you
So like
select?
if you put in any number, because you always have to, you always have to, you can't use corners.
Let's focus
So
on,
you subtract 2 and you multiply it by 12
get
because there are 12 edges.
rid of all this.
You get it?
Yeah.
Back here.
Yeah, there's 12 edges.
Wait.
Unclick everything. So let's
Ruby,
unclick
a
the
cube
front.
has 12, well, this Ruby.
How many is that?
Cubes have 12 edges.
What?
Okay,
I
we
just
did
want to look at
Do you
this.
get it? Yes,
That's-
for one side.
Share a cube with one color with another
So we
side.
divide it by 4. By 6.
No, it's all in one side, right? Which is where you got that number,
It's gonna
right?
be a different, okay.
And that number, because you multiply by, what number? Good question.
No, 9 times
Yeah,
6.
6, because there's 6 sides, right?
9 times
Oh,
6
it's
is not
times
36.
Let's think about how many we're
6
taking
times
away.
6 is
To get to just the center cube, I
9
have to
times
take
4
away
is
these
36.
edges, right?
I know
So
it's 6
36.
times, I know it's 6.
But then I have to turn it over and get rid of these.
Wait, no, it's not.
How many did they get rid of each
So
direction?
it would be. No, it's not.
No,
It's
it's
not.
okay.
It was
Isn't
not.
that 8?
How many cubes did I get rid of each direction? I got rid of how many in this direction?
So it would be that, it will be n
Well, getting rid of this one and this one's not referring.
No, because I looked at it and 5 times 6 is 30
How many
and
cubes
that's
just in this
54.
direction?
So that's
Getting rid
not
of
right,
that
and we
one
know
now.
that that's very, wait.
So-
No, it was 9
That number
times,
again.
9 times 6.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Taking away two
Still
along,
wrong.
yeah, aren't I?
9.
Then I need to take away two
Nine.
along this edge. How many times did I do that?
Joseph,
3
It
times
doesn't work
6.
every time.
Think about these numbers. How many sides are there?
Because not all, no, not all of them have 9 cubes on each other. This one
Right.
only has 6 that
So
are
it would be
So
n.
there's 4 on
So you
each
get
side,
12
right?
cubes, color,
How did you get them on two
That's
sides?
what I
and then you see
But 5 times 6 is 30, so that's
Oh,
not right.
And minus 2, but how many times?
5
At
times 5 by
36
5, the
plus
5 by 5 by
4
5.
plus 8, that's
It wouldn't work this time. Because 6 n.
Right.
6 times 5, n is 5. 6 times n is
We're good.
50.
So we'll use minus 2 in its place.
So that's
What do you
not.
think that is? Minus 2. Squared. Because what's left on the inside, isn't that a square? Multiply that by what? See if that fits those two numbers that you found.
Wait, would we do, because we know that there is, 16 cubes, right? And would we do n times 6?
It's not 6 n.
Is that n times 6?
No, because for this, we got,
Did you ever find that? No, we're not, we gotta do this.
no, we're doing that last. So, because like I remember for the other one, we had 9, and we did 9 times 6, and we did it again, and we did
You're gonna type it in.
I actually was gonna do that.
Right? Oh, that's a good number, 9 times 6. How did you get
It would
9 though?
be, because there were 9, because there was 9 in the middle.
9 in the middle, but how many are along each edge of that 9?
Yeah.
Which, didn't that number coincide with that number?
6 and 6.
But how do you get 9 from that? You see what I'm saying?
Not counting.
Didn't you get a similar number from that? You got n minus 2 is 3 times 12.
Yeah.
N minus 2 gives you 3, right?
Yeah.
What can 3 give you?
Oh.
See if that'll help.
Wait, n minus 2. N minus 2.
You get n by n by n, it'd be 8 cubes left.
You guys all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be the 8 cubes.
You know, you understand what n by n means actually?
Yeah.
So can you do
So like we have a 3 by 3 by 3, n is 3. 4 by 4 by 4, n is 4. Can we generalize these numbers where it can be any number n?
Let me check first.
I mean, come up with
So
formulas.
8.
So you can use 8.
Wait, like 8 would be the
Eight's still the number of three-sided.
Yeah.
It's never gonna change.
Yeah.
You determine that.
Yeah.
But can we generalize these numbers into any x? So if I ask you,
It's just this.
how many two-color cubes are on a 12 by 12 by 12? You want to count those? Yeah. So can we come up with some way to find that number without having to count like we did the first week? Because that took a while, didn't it?
Yeah.
You see the problem I would have if I was sitting there trying to count them and thinking about it? That would be a problem, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I want a quicker way to find this.
Okay, so
So
N
use
minus
the
2
relationships.
cubed would be,
cube without color.
That's the new color.
Then n
So-
minus 2 times 3 cubes going on two sides.
wait,
Does that align with the rest of your problem? Figure it out.
Ooh. Yeah. No, no.
I was gonna do that at the same time.
Or do?
Yeah, that's not right.
The n minus.
So,
my.
let me ask you a question first. I want you to explain. I'm going to explain this one. You pick one of those. Well, not last one, because I already have another pick. Other sides?
Go back to what was.
Actually, no, I want you to do this
Go
one
back
side.
to what was.
I want you to do
No.
one side. So here's what I'm going to do for the next 5 minutes. Next 5 minutes, I'm going to focus on finding the definition for the cubes. The exact one color on the side. Okay? You see where together.
This one is this.
Did I get it?
All right? Cool.
So. Okay, it would be N minus 2.
You understand that?
Yeah, actually, I get it.
This
I
side.
want you to explain that one when I bring everybody together.
Let's see if
Okay?
that's.
I want you guys to give me the explanation of this.
Yeah.
I still want you to keep working on these last two for the next,
That's what I would do.
5 minutes or so.
Figure out the new color.
Oh, yeah.
for about the next 5 minutes. And then after about 5 minutes, I'm going to call on each group to explain
Will you
this
add
one.
12? It would be this.
So keep working on
And
finding
we
those.
do minus 2, wouldn't we?
When we come back together, I want you guys to just find the colors.
Okay, good, because we got that.
Right, that's why.
Wait.
Can you write down the answer?
Yeah, we got it.
So you have that, that's what I want you to explain. Okay? I want you to explain how you get that number.
I don't know, but it looks like this.
And if you want,
Why is?
no, you're going to work together on it. You're going to work together on it.
Okay. N minus 2 times 3.
So why couldn't there be a 3 in front of it? 3 times n minus 2 times 6. Why can it not be?
So that's 3 times n minus 2 times 6, isn't that 8
Would you get
times n
that for
minus
the?
2?
I know, I see it.
Did that work in the first one?
Did you have money?
So.
No, it didn't. It has to work in everything. But let's think about it. I like these n minus 2 thing. Because what you did along just the edge, you took off 1 cube on each side. You took specifically the corners. If you think about it, this
I
little
know.
spot in the middle,
Okay, we gotta
how do you get to this little spot in the middle?
explain how we got.
Don't you have to take
N minus 3?
that off
So 3.
and that off?
Yeah,
So that's one direction.
No, I know.
So you take a total of 6 cubes off that side. But how many are you taking off along that edge?
Another 3.
You're taking one
We
off.
got it.
One
Okay.
off of each
So,
side, right?
we gotta get ready.
Yeah.
So you're taking
So,
how
when
many
we
off
wait,
each
I'm
edge?
not put on, put on.
Just this edge.
3
no.
is 3. 3, 6.
Hold on. I'm not asking how many total cubes, I'm asking just along right here. This edge right here, there's 3 cubes, right? If I want to get to this cube right here in the middle, don't have to remove this cube off this edge
So,
along with its buddies,
when we do
and this
this,
cube along its edge along with its buddies.
we have to.
9.
So how many cubes just on this edge? 1, 2, 3 cubes. How many cubes am I
N
getting
is
rid of?
n.
3.
How many? 2.
2.
I'm getting rid of this one.
5
And
minus
this
2. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's in one direction. I have to
So
remove
we
those.
would
But
say
don't I have a couple
that
left over?
5, 5, 5, 5.
So if we look at this direction, I have to take off
2.
And we would
2
do
again.
5 minus 2.
So I take off
5
2 in one
minus 2
direction
is 2.
and 2 in another direction.
No, 5 minus 2 is 3.
I take off n minus 2 how many times?
Okay.
And that's how many.
Yeah.
2 times.
But we have to explain like how we got
3
it.
times.
Twice.
How we got minus, how we got minus 2 because every.
So would it be
minus 2.
So they make one more example.
Well,
This is the part about-
No, I don't know how you said it.
If I take off this whole edge, I'm taking off one cube, right? Taking off one cube along this edge.
On that one, if
You
you
agree?
take the two off the bottom.
They take off that edge, I'm taking another one off that edge.
So you don't have
Right?
to.
So I take off two cubes in that direction along that edge. But I also have to take those cubes
That's right here.
away. So I took off two from end.
So.
My mom has Kentucky.
What shape
Going to
is
the
this?
final
in?
two.
Squares.
No,
I just kept blowing this.
Okay, so that's just for one side, isn't it?
So when you
How many sides are there?
four.
Six.
Oh,
Six
sides. 6 sides.
You see that?
No.
I remember him saying that.
Wait, why
We
did you
take out how
have
many
seriously?
sides?
See how close?
We take out some bags. Something
So
about
would it
the
be
side.
n minus 2 squared?
These 9 cubes right here are the ones we're focusing on.
Yeah.
Right? But how do we get to that 3 on this side and 2 on this side? We know
It's
it's
in the
9.
middle.
We got to this, and we got to take off two that edge and that edge.
Yeah, keep taking your
That'd be
off,
two.
right? Until you just add the middle piece. What's that?
Square. So
That-
n minus 2 is the length of that square, that leg.
We
of the square.
literally-
And n minus 2 is the
For
length of that
every
leg
single
of the
one,
square.
we-
So what is the area of that square?
Like for every
How many
one.
sides are there in a cube?
6.
That
Yeah!
makes no sense. How, I forget how to get minus 2. How do we minus 2?
That
Okay.
was, that was
I know like 5 minus 2.
I didn't think of it
Would be 3 and 3 cubed is 27, but I don't understand the logic.
Let's go to,
You're gonna say it, and then I'm like, oh, you're
Right.
that's the face on the side of the cube. It's a smiling cube. That's nuts. That's nuts.
That's it's called okay, no color.
That looks like a no color fringe. So you just add from
So then
look at this.
And then,
Put that hand on.
I don't post any pictures of it.
yeah, that's true.
If someone takes a picture of me,
Wait,
post
who's
it.
This is a 5 by 5, 5 by 5, right? So to get to the inner cube, we agree that it's a cube in the middle, right?
Yes.
We have to take this whole layer off the top and pull
Someone
it
else
off.
takes it.
So how many cubes, if I'm just looking at this edge,
So this would
Ashley,
be 80 cents.
if I take off this entire top, that whole red part, how many cubes did I remove from
So
that
it's
edge?
total
I
I
I
removed
think
one
I-
cube from that edge,
My
didn't I?
sister took some more.
Yeah, so you remove that cube and then you remove that one from the bottom.
So how many did I take away total?
2.
2, along that edge. But that's just removing 2 of the exteriors. I have to remove another 2 exteriors, so I have to remove this part, and
But
then the
that
part
would
that's not
still,
shown.
that would,
And that's another, but that's this edge, isn't it?
Okay.
yeah.
That's a different edge. How many am I removing from that different edge?
And then 2.
2, so it's n minus 2, another n minus 2,
And another.
and then another n minus 2,
You're gonna
right?
feel relieved.
So if I take all those off, what are the dimensions of that cube that I have left over? What's the length of it?
From 3 by 3 by 3.
In this case, 3 by 3 by 3, but how did you get that number 3?
Because you did 5 minus 2.
So n minus 2, the width is n minus 2, and the height,
And minus 2.
and the volume of that cube is, does
And minus 2 cubed.
that make sense?
Yes.
So you see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you guys ready? You guys ready to explain? You guys ready? All right, so let's bring this back together real quick. So I'll use this on the board even though it's kind of cattywampus a little bit. So on the board up here, I'm going to explain, I think the hardest one of them all is how to find how many 3-sided cubes there are. Cubes with exactly 3 colors on them. Well, a cube is a geometric shape, right? What are these cubes on the cube called? The corners, we call them in geometry vertices, right? So with vertices, how many of them are there on a 3 by 3 by 3? 8. Are we ever going to add vertices or add corners to a cube by making it bigger? No. So is that number ever going to change?
No.
Where can we add cubes? We can add them on the edges and on the faces, right? By sides. So that leads into how to find how many cubes have exactly 2 colors on them, and that's you guys, correct?
Yeah.
So Kate, you can stay there, you can come up to the board, however you would like to do it.
I'm scared.
I would prefer if you would use the board so you can
Yeah.
kind of point and show. So Katie's going to explain to us how she got her n by n by n cube, and there's a marker right here if you want it. But if you want it.
I'm not good at explaining.
What? Point with it? That's a good idea. Okay. So to find out how many colors or 2 sides, they're all the ones that are on the edges, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, like on this one, there's 1 on each edge. And overall, there are 12 edges on the cube. Everyone got that right? Okay. So, every time you're looking at the 2 side ones, when you just look at one edge, you're taking away 2 every time you take away the corners. So, you would just do n minus 2, so like however many unit cubes you have on the side, so like a 5 by 5 by 5, you would do 5 minus 2, which would give you 3. That's how many of these you'd have on each edge. And you would just multiply that by 12, and you would get whatever your answer is for the unit cubes.
We agreeing with
Good
that?
answer.
Great. That was a great explanation.
Is
All
that
right.
for the
2 colors. So write on the board what the expression was. So notice that I already talked about the corner cubes. Didn't we take away the corner cubes when we talked about the edges? So what do you think happens when we talk about the ones with one side? We take away the corners and take away the edges. So that group up there. Next.
9.
Very good, Katie. Thank you. Now the announcements are going to come on. So if they come on, if they're quiet enough, go ahead and keep talking loud enough. You'll catch it.
You don't have to explain.
So then you'll be good to go. So just talk loud enough if the announcements come on.
Okay, so you have to get to just the center. So you have to take like the edges away that are surrounding the center. So you got to take these buddies away, and that is n minus 2. And then you have these left, but that's like going this is like in only one direction. It's like up and down. But then you have to get the sides, so you have to go vertically. No, horizontally. Yep. And then that would make n minus 2 squared because you have to do it twice. And then you have 6 sides, so you have to do this all 6 sides just to get the center one. So then you have to multiply by 6.
Questions? Comments? Clear?
Yeah. No, I think the other one was, I think that's right.
Well, you get it one way, you get it the other, and that's completely okay. So we're clear with that. So notice in the first one, I explained that there were 8 unit cubes, right? Then in Katie's explanation, we took those corners off, we didn't account for them. In this one, Gwen took off the corners, took off the edges, right? To get to the center. What do you think's going to happen with Kate and Ashley's? Where we have to find how many have no color.
Take off everything.
All school fees must be paid before.
Get up there. Come on. Get up there. Come on. Come on, you both go up there.
Attention students, these laws and reforms that continue anthropology and or public speaking for the 2018-19 school year, please stop by the council's office for your reference on taking Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday classes.
Go ahead.
Students who do not stop by the council's office.
I think we need to use Gwen's little drawing there
in a
too.
particular
Why?
section.
So it might be helpful. Or not, go ahead.
Here's the message.
No, you don't have to use it. You do it your own way.
Okay.
If interested in interning for the
Okay, so in order to find the
2018-2019
cubes in the
school
center,
year,
you have to
please
take
pick up
the
an
entire layer off the
application
top.
on the bulletin board
Okay.
across
So
from
since
the
there's-
small gym.
It's better
You
using
must
5 by
have
5,
3
but whatever.
classes
Yeah.
So
completed
when you
in a
take the layer off
program
the
picture of 5
and
by
you
5?
must be a senior
What? Would you rather have
next
a picture
year.
of 5 by 5?
If you have any questions, see Coach Strasberg. Applications are due to Coach Strasberg.
4 by 4 by 4.
Senior FFA members,
Okay.
the Darren Snow
So whenever you-
Memorial Scholarship is now available.
Oh, man.
See Ms. Quistlever in room 133. The scholarship is only available to honored FFA members, which means you could easily be awarded. Apply today.
Gotta take that top layer.
FFA members, If you wish to attend
Good.
camp, a $25 deposit
Okay,
is
so
due
you
by
gotta
March
take this
23rd.
top layer off,
Bring payment to room
Or this top layer
133
off
to
and
Miss
this bottom layer
Kutzhofer
off.
or Miss Baduda.
and then.
That's all for today, Cougars. Have a great day.
Yeah, you basically take the face off. And then you do, so n minus 2 would be 2 by 2 by 2. So you have to do 2 cubed, right?
Okay. For that example, yes.
Yeah, for that.
But what if it was a different example? What if it was n on the side?
Yeah, it'd be n minus 2 to the cube.
Why cube?
Because
Because
You're doing it 3
you have to
times.
take off.
Explain to
3
me why
times.
you're doing it 3
You're
times.
doing it 1 time on the top and 1 time on the bottom.
Okay, so that's 1 time.
That's 1. Then you're gonna go onto this side,
Okay.
right? So you're gonna take one off the top again, and 1 off.
And this
That's
side
over.
off.
Yeah.
That's
Off the
2.
top one. Yeah. And
And
you're gonna
then
do it
this
on this
side.
side and the far.
Okay, so
One off,
basically
one off.
you're uncoiling this cube. You're uncubing this cube. You're taking the faces off of it. So in the first example, we took the corners off to find the edges. Next, we took the corners and the edges off to find the faces. Now we're taking all 3 off to find the inner cubes. And how many are there in an n by n by n? N minus 2
third.
cubed.
Wow.
So tonight for homework, what I'd like you to do is turn that page over and do the back. You already did it, you're done.
Great.
Thank you very much.